So on the 18th, I watched Jojo Rabbit finally. I got up and I relaxed on Saturday. It was snowing quite beautifully, and I just felt like in a Jojo Rabbit mood. So I was like, I should finally watch this damn kid show. So I did, and it was fine. I didn't see what the big deal was. I really don't. It was just fine. People overhype things too much. It was a pretty good film. The little boy was fine. I didn't see the big deal about Taika Waititi playing Hitler. I didn't even see the big deal about the story being like offensive. I don't know what I don't know. I also don't see the big deal of the buzz either. It's fine. It's people make it seem like okay films are great. It's fine. I felt like I was watching Moonrise Kingdom, and that's it. People were saying Inglorious Bastards too. I don't see the Inglorious Bastards in it. You clearly didn't see Inglorious Bastards if you think that Jojo Rabbit is anything like Inglorious Bastards. It's not even an inkling. Just because it's Hitler, like that, it's not even an inkling at all. But the Wes Anderson Moonrise Kingdom, I get that. But it's still in its own field. And the best thing about it was the little boy, was the little girl, and was Scarlett. Scarlett was great in it. I really like her in it. She's like the mother you want when you're in Germany during that time. She's very kind. She's she's very beautiful, and she knows it. I like the callback to her shoes. It was really it was done really well. That was very clever director take there. But yeah, there's nothing else special about this. There's nothing stood out other than that. It's fine. It's cute. I like the scenes with the little girl. I liked her in with Leave No Trace. I liked her in Leave No Trace, and I liked her here. She's much better here. She has more to do here, even though she's hiding. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say about Jojo Rabbit. It's fine. I would watch it again, but I'm not running to it. The next day, on Sunday, I watched Judy. I watched Judy finally, because I'm finally catching up on all the Oscar movies. I finally watched Judy, and I see now why Renee got all those awards. Well deserved. She became Judy Garland. She really did. The movie is not at all what I expected. I thought that they were going to divulge more in her life, but it only showcased 1 year or a year and a half of her life. The last year of her life and her last husband. Like when the film opens up, she already had Liza. Liza's already 20 years old, and she already had her other 2 kids. She already divorced Sidney Luft. She's looking to marry her last husband, Mickey Rourke. And it also showcases her childhood and how abusive it was then. Because remember, Judy Garland was the first one that put in place that child labor laws needs to happen. Before, when she was a child, there were no child labor laws. There was no, you can't overwork a child a certain amount of hours. They didn't have that. So she was overworked, and they gave her drugs to stay up, and they gave her drugs to sleep, and they gave her drugs to not be hungry. So they showed her life when she was younger. As far as Judy the character, as far as Judy the movie, I did like it. It wasn't what I expected, but we shouldn't expect things. We should just take things as they are and then judge them. And I'm taking it as it is. And as it is, I enjoyed it. Even though it was just 1 year of her life and I wanted it to be more. I've seen movies that did a whole scope of her life, and it wouldn't be enough for a 2-hour film. It would be a mini series. You know what I'm saying? So for what they showed us, I got the gist of how her life was and how she was mentally and physically abused as a child, and how it crept up into her adulthood, and how that last year of her life was the most stressful, with her trying to get custody of her children and her trying to stay relevant to make enough money to have her kids, but also life just taking a toll on her, and her thinking she found love finally with her 5th husband, and it still didn't work out. And I completely forgot that she was that young. When she died, at the end, there's text that said that she died at 47, and I completely forgot that she was 47, because she just looked physically older than that because of how much life drained her out. How much when you start working at like 2, life drains you. So even though she was technically 47, she was mentally like 87, you know what I'm saying?
I lived my 20s at 2 years old, the wiser man. Truth be told, I'm like 87.
Like the amount of work that she done, because she started work at 2. You're not really supposed to start work at 2. You're supposed to start work when you're an adult. You're an adult for most of your life. That's why your childhood is so important, because it shapes you, who you are, and your personality. But it's like that's the only time in your life where you don't have to work, and you shouldn't be working. And she was. So at 47, her body couldn't take it anymore, and she was gone. And Renee Zellweger was phenomenal. It wasn't even Renee Zellweger. It was Judy Garland. She transformed, and I was transfixed, and I really enjoyed it. I would definitely watch it again. The end, I did tear up a little bit. That song, man, that song, it just, and you know what song I'm talking about. It just always, it does it for me. It does it for me. It is arguably the greatest movie song ever, aside from Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka, because that's my personal favorite. But then it's that other one, and you know what that other one is. Don't ask me. You know what that other one is. And then the same day, right after Judy, right after I calmed down and ate some dinner, I watched Bombshell. 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 I don't know if I've spoke about this in depth. I won't do that now because these are supposed to be little small tidbits. But the prosthetics on Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron who? That was Megyn Kelly. Charlize Theron who? I get it now when people are like, when it comes to the lead actress, it's either Renee or Charlize, because who else is even in that category? I mean, Scarlett? No. Over Charlize, now that I've seen her play Megyn Kelly, nah. This movie, Fox News, I can't speak. I don't know what to say. I enjoyed it. I don't know what I'm rating it yet because I did just only watch it yesterday or 2 days ago. So I don't know what I'm rating it, but I want to say I'm floored by the behavior. I feel like though Roger was way worse than that. Roger Ailes. Rest in peace, Roger Ailes. I know he passed away. But I feel like he was way worse than that, than they showed him. I've seen Loudest Voice, some of Loudest Voice. I still have to go back and finish it. I told y'all that. But based on that alone, he was worse than the way they showed him in Bombshell. But I mean, he was bad enough in it, and I just feel for these women, and it's crazy because they're all Republican, and I don't want to feel for Republicans, but they're women first, and it's like, no woman should go through that. Margot Robbie, though, like, her performance was like, that was crazy. I don't want to stay on this much longer, but Bombshell I expected it to be good. I did, and it was. There you go. Next thing I watched was Dr. Sleep on the 20th. That was yesterday. I liked it. I think I spoke about it yesterday a little bit. Well, I just finished watching Dr. Sleep. On first hand, I just want to say that there's a scene where someone has a bunch of spoons on the ceiling, and I just want to say no one has that many spoons in their house, especially a house where only 3 people live there. Why do you have this many spoons and this many forks? I was like, really? Like, am I supposed to believe you have this many spoons in your house? Relax. I know that they were trying to emphasize like a super crazy magic trick and they're trying to be frightening. Like, look at all the spoons on the ceiling. But I'm like, why do you have that many spoons in your house? Nobody has. It was like hundreds. It was like, or 100. Why do you have 100 spoons? Why do you even have 50 spoons? There's 3 of you. Why do you have 50 spoons? Why do you have 50 forks? I just don't, it was just like, no. Just wanted to start off by saying that, so I don't forget. As far as the rest of the film, I enjoyed it. I really did. I thought it was going to be horrible and terrible because of polarizing opinions that I've gotten about it. I've heard mostly negative, which had kind of poisoned me against watching it, and I didn't want to watch it, but then my brother recommended it. He said he was like, it's alright. So decided to watch it, and it was alright. I mean, it pandered. It had some fan service in it. It pandered to an extent, but it wasn't overbearing. I did at points feel like I was watching 2-3 different movies, but it's fine. Came together at the end, I guess, and it made a cohesive story by the end of it. Yeah, my favorites were probably Rebecca Ferguson was great. That's her name, right? Rebecca Ferguson? She was great. She was a really good villain. I believed her. I was terrified of her. I think it was kind of interesting that it's not really a spoiler, but like the first person that I guess that they recruit is like getting rid of pedophiles. Like she's getting pedophiles off the street, and she's shaming pedophiles for being pedophiles, as she should. But then she joins a crew that kills children, so it's like you're kind of a hypocrite. I liked it. I didn't get to finish talking about it, but I don't know what else I wanted to say about it. I don't remember what I said, but people were going in on it. But I like what Rian Johnson did. I'm one of the selected few that liked Last Jedi, so I like Rian Johnson. I don't have no beef with him. It wasn't Rian Johnson that did it. I'm mistaken with Knives Out. I forgot who did it, but I think he did Oculus. The dude who did Dr. Sleep. I fucked with it. I love Rebecca Ferguson, and I spoke about it already. but I fucks with it. I like Dr. Sleep. Next, I watched Missing Link. I wrote something down here about Missing Link. I'm just gonna read it. A movie about friendship that showcases an adventure. You know how I am about adventure and friendship. Come on. I like movies like that. It's not a masterpiece. Why did I say masterpiece like that? It's not a masterpiece, but of course I enjoyed it. There are moments when I thought, wow, this is stupid. Leica really has gone down with the writing since Coraline, Kubo, and Paranormal, huh? I know they can do better, so I will be on the lookout for the next one. And then I said, I don't know how they could work this hard on a stop motion film and give it this generic script. Because we all know that Leica work hard on these films. It takes them a long time to build these sets and to make these characters move. They don't animate it the way other people animate it. They stop motion and build everything. So why would you do work that hard on such a generic script? Like, it's the script that's the problem. It's not the way the movie looks. Sometimes it's even the editing and the performances are like kind of awkward. Like, I didn't love Zach Galifianakis as our lead character. I really liked Hugh Jackman and Zoe Saldana, but even though I felt like they had zero chemistry, I like them, their voice talent just fine, but I didn't like Zach Galifianakis that much. It was very awkward. It wasn't that funny. It wasn't funny at all. It should have been funnier. I just feel like the script is what let it down for the visuals, because the visuals was great. The visuals was really great. They built it really great. People who work in miniature art are talented, and it just sucks that they, I'll say it again, made all that for a script that just wasn't that strong. The strongest scene to me in the film was the boat scene, and even that was lacking in some parts, but most of it was really well done. And I loved the way the Yetis looked and where they lived. It was gorgeous. The ice mountains, the sets is stunning. The script is weak. And then that night, I started watching Harriet. Jesus Christ. My battery's dying. Okay, I gotta hurry up. Yeah, I started watching Harriet, and it's a struggle. I didn't finish it yet. It's a struggle. I don't like these slave films, and I was just hesitating watching it, and I just don't like it. Like, I just don't like watching that. And Hollywood keeps making them and showing black people being abused, but you don't show the empowered ones that much. I just don't like it. I mean, I just think it's really disrespectful. I just don't want to watch it. I'm only watching it because it got nominated. I just want to see what it did, and there's some actors in it that I like. But yeah, I don't like it. I am curious though how accurate it is, because I am taking it as gospel. Like, I didn't know that Harriet Tubman wasn't her real name. I didn't know that Tubman was her husband's name. I only knew about her going back and forth from the South taking the slaves. So I know that that's historically accurate. And I know now that the name thing is historically accurate. But how much of the rest of it is? I hope all of it is accurate, because I am taking it as gospel. As gospel. I am taking it as a piece of film history, like the type of films that you'd show in classrooms. Like, this was what really happened, like Schindler's List. Like, just how accurate is this? I'm curious about that. But yeah, I don't have really anything else to say about it. Cynthia Erivo is great, but I feel like they just nominated her just to say, like, just in case people were going to say, oh, how could you not nominate her? She played Harriet Tubman. Like, they just nominate her for that because she's good in it. She is good in it. But it's like, the movie is just, I just don't like it. That's just personally me. It's probably, maybe because I'm black, I don't know. Maybe because I'm a woman, I don't know. But I just don't like seeing films like that. I remember I watched 12 Years a Slave. I watched it one time. I couldn't watch it again. And that's probably going to be the case for this. Even though only a small portion of it, they show them being abused as slaves. It's still a lot of it. It's still small portions scattered throughout, so it's like, and it's like they go out of their way to still have the slaves like this. They put into law to get slaves. They just won't stop. They just won't leave them alone, and it's aggravating. It's like, why are you going out of your way to own people? Like, just work for your damn self. But yeah, so yeah, that's how I felt about Harriet, even though I haven't finished it yet.